Hi guys, so sorry it took this long for this video. It's been a week since I told you guys I'd start working on it. We just had a lot going on with the kids going back to school and putting Christmas decorations away and all that. But as a treat, I have not 10 but 12 cards for the My Monthly Hero for December 2018. So I guess technically these will be the last. Technically they were made in 2019, but it'll be the last video for cards and kits from 2018. There you go. Okay, so to get started, this kit made me think a lot of like not real. So I didn't always go with traditional colors, as you can see here. This is a 1-layer card, just some white cardstock. I used some of that gold paper that came in the kit and cut out a frame for the main picture, but I did cut the middle out because, you know, I don't like to waste the decorative paper if I don't have to. And then we have the sleeping fairy laying on top of all different colored flowers. I pretty much followed the rainbow for this card. I used my Copics, but I forgot what I was going to say to you guys. I did ink blend the background with some worn lipstick, some milled lavender, and some dusty Concord. And I cut it with that antique paper trimmer. And then I stamped on Never Stop Dreaming and used some of this gold shimmer spray that came in a kit last year. But I kind of have to flick it on because my sprayer is broken. Let's see here. Is there anything else I wanted to tell you about this kit? Every time I did a fairy, I put eyeshadow on their eyes. Sometimes it's very faint, sometimes it's the glitter pen. I did use the glitter pen on her hair and her wings. I think that's it for this card. Yeah, it was a really simple card. I did do a lot of masking, but I only used 3 flower masks and just used them back and forth, moving them around. Card 2 is on a pink card base. I think this was from an old Hero Arts kit as well. And I cut out and colored a lot. As you can see, I fussy cut. I did cut them out with the dies, and I ended up fussy cutting almost everything. I took a piece of the rose colored shimmer paper and I ink blended over it with dusty Concord and black soot around the edges. I did that cute little mouse. They're both sitting on mushrooms. One's higher than the other. Everything is glued on, so I guess you can say it's technically a 1-layer card. I kind of wish I would have popped up the stuff in front, or at least the grass, because with this dark, I used that chalkboard paper because it's supposed to be nighttime. And you can kind of see the bumps where the stems of the dandelions are. So I wish I would have popped that up. And it wasn't worth trying to take it off and end up ripping it. Some more Copic coloring. I used my warm grays, my YRs, and my yellows combined. She's got pink eyeshadow on. And I did some of the dandelions in the foreground and covered them up with a 2nd layer of grass. I stamped out some of those little dandelion fluffs. That's what I'm going to call them. And I popped the panel up on foam tape, craft foam actually. And I stamped out May All Your Wishes Come True. And a couple of these I put stuff on the inside, so you'll see me checking. Card 3 is one of my favorites, although it was a very frustrating card. I actually ended up ink blending this background twice. If you look carefully, you'll see where my mistake is. So I worked very, very hard to make the sun in the corner with streaks and rays of different colored sunbeams streaming down. And that's a combination of squeezed lemonade, mustard seed, and I think I used a little bit of wild honey with this very skinny brush to kind of brush those streaks in there. But if you can tell, I used tumble glass and salty ocean on the sky itself. It's upside down. Okay, that concentrated yellow area is where my sun was, and I made the beams, the sun rays wider as it went down. Got it perfect after the second time of doing it, and glued my fairy on upside down. So of course you can imagine I did not want to do it a third time. So I just covered it up with some dandelions. Some of them are popped up on foam tape, some of them are flat to the card. And then I used the stamp Believe with some sequins and that glitter pen kind of going down in, like, I don't know, like dust down around the dandelions. Now originally she was going to be in the middle of the card before I flipped it upside down on accident, and her little wisp of sequins and glitter pen was going to be around the word Believe in a nice swirl, and she was going to be the center of the card. But unfortunately I had to change my idea. And this is on a green card base, and I put clear embossing powder all over the Believe and the little dandelion fluffs because I stamped them in the VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink, and that's more Copic coloring, and that's flat to the card. I did not pop that up on foam tape, just some of the dandelions. Card 4, I did a kind of a repeat of what I did with the snowman in the last kit, and made the front so that it was that the inside was part of the front picture. I used some of that greenish gold glimmer paper behind the dandelions so I could hook them to the front of the card. And I heat embossed all these ladybugs and colored them in with my Copics. And then we have more of the dandelion fluffs, which I outlined this time in a warm gray marker. I think it was warm gray number 4, which I think was a little too dark. I ended up switching, I think. Sorry guys, I got really hot all of a sudden. Ended up switching in the other cards to warm gray 2 for the dandelions and the dandelion fluff. And that's it for that card. You guys, if I'm forgetting anything, like I usually say, and you want to know something about a card, just let me know in the comments below. I'm sure I'm forgetting stuff. This is card number 5. This is one of my favorites. I took that light, like pale rose glimmer paper, and I ink blended the center with Warren lipstick. Around the edge I went on with some shaded lilac, and then I went in with some seedless preserves. I did 3 of the flowers in different shades of purple, but I did them on Bristol Smooth so I could use my Zigs and my Arteza water brush pens so that I could kind of play with the shading on the flowers. And I used some of the purple ribbon that was wrapped around the kit. And then I did, instead of using the stamp Believe, because I like to use each sentiment in a kit once, and then after that I feel like I can use whatever I want. So I stuck to Believe, but I used my cutout from Love Nicole that I picked up at AC Moore. And I cut that out of Bristol Smooth, but it was already ink blended with Dusty Concord. And then I went over it with some of the glimmer pen. And then if you look carefully, you can see the little swirl of glimmer pen with stars and dots to look like fairy dust. And my fairy was also done in the Zigs and the Artezas, and she's got glitter eyeshadow. And there's also some glitter pen on her flowers, the outline of her shirt, and her wings. And that's on a black card base. Card number 6 is also one of my favorites. I used a green card base, but I also used that greenish gold glimmer paper. There's a close-up. I gotta remember to do more close-ups for you guys. I used a sentiment, No Wish is Too Big or Too Small. These were all done in VersaFine Nocturne, VersaFine Clair Nocturne, and heat embossed with clear embossing powder. There's some dandelions and a ladybug flat to the background. And then we have, those were done with Zigs. Everything on this card was done with Zigs. The mouse, I wanted him to be a little black. He's got some glitter on his cheek and his ear. And he's blowing it up towards her, and she's sitting on, he's popped up on foam tape, and so is she with her 3 toadstools. And I really like the dimension on this card. I think it turned out really cute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can't get through a whole video without counting, guys. Card number 7 is also one of my favorites. I had a lot of favorites this time around. It's a simple card, but I like it. It's popped up on craft foam, but it's a flat one-layer card except for the sentiment, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So I did a whole bunch of the ladybugs. I stamped them out in Simon Says Stamp Intense Black because I was coloring with the Copics, and I did the ladybugs in red, orange, and shades of yellow. The toadstool is glued on there. It was one of the first toadstools I colored when I started stamping and coloring for the kit. And it's done in reds and yellows and yellow reds. And then we have the sentiment. So I stamped the sentiment out, and I decided to bring in the blue from the card base. So I ink blended it with tumbled glass, and it was okay. Then I tried to use my Perfect Pearls. This I have white in here, I think, that I have in this mini mister. And I tried taping it off with my Post-it tape so that I wouldn't get glitter everywhere or pearl, glimmer everywhere. But then all you could see was like a half a pentagon, I'm sorry, of glimmer. So I didn't like it. So I did the sentiment again, heat embossed it with clear embossing powder, and popped it up on foam tape to cover it right up. Then you can't see that shape so much. But it's a simple card. I like it. Card 8 is a shaker. Wouldn't be complete if I didn't do a shaker. Now, before I did this card, I did do 3 different alcohol backgrounds. As I've told you guys before, I'm by no means an expert at alcohol, ink, whatever you want to call it. I did have a couple things that turned out cute, but I couldn't use the whole frame or papers because I tried putting foil on it. It was too wet. Then it smeared it around, and you could see the lines of the plastic, the foil comes. I was just frustrated. So I ended up cutting it out into 3 different holes. And I like the ones I cut out. I put some of the moonshine confetti in there, and I also put, I think, 2 stars in each, like these stars, and they came in one of the Christmas kits from Hero Arts a couple months ago. That's the light rose glimmer paper, popped up on foam tape, 2 layers of my foam tape. Sending happy fairy wishes your way, and I had to play with that a little to make it fit in there. I did not cut it though. I very carefully stamped one or 2 words at a time. It's heat embossed with clear embossing powder. She's glued straight on. I did her colors in zigs. Her wings have Hero Arts lacquer pen on them. There's 3, 4, 5 of those stars. Ladybugs with their wings done with the glitter pen. And that's it. Simple, but I like it. I like these types of shaker cards. And I made sure when I did this that I sectioned each one off so that you could see what was inside of them, so it didn't all fall to the bottom. Card 9. I'm not sure if I like this card or not. It's on more pink from a previous kit. I think this is Dollhouse Pink. I'm not sure. Okay, so I used more of that light rose glimmer paper, and I used squeezed lemonade in the center, and then came in with Dusty Concord, trying to bring it in a little bit. And my idea was to use those alcohol inked backgrounds and my alcohol lift ink to bring in all different images from the kit. I wanted the mouse to be the focal point and the only color other than the background. So there's a lot of one layer on here, but there's also a lot of stuff popped up on foam tape. He's popped up. The flower he's sitting on is popped up. This ladybug, this mushroom, and this mushroom. Part of this dandelion. The 3 dandelion fluffs. I kind of like it. I kind of don't. Honestly, I don't know what to think. I did believe again, heat embossed it with clear embossing powder, and as you can see, I did the same type of fairy dust swirl with the glitter pen. I don't hate it. I would send it out. I just don't know if it's one of my favorites. And I put some of that glitter pen like on the mushroom spots, the top of the closed dandelion. Put some dots in the center of the dying dandelions, her wings. Card 10 is one of my favorites. It's on a black card base. I took the gold glimmer paper. That was more like a textured, shiny paper. I don't know how to explain that paper. I did like it though. I used my handmade stencil, oops, to keep the center the way it was and do the outside in chipped sapphire oxide ink. And then I removed the stencil and went in a little bit, just a little bit, with the chipped sapphire to kind of make it like close on her so it would look dreamy. I used my masks that I made for the very first card to make a stack of flowers. I ended up having to cut some of them off because they were too tall. She's done in Zig Clean Color markers. She's also got some glitter pen on her wings and some Hero Arts lacquer pen. She's got light blue eyeshadow with some glimmer pen on it, and she's got like a light blue violet hair. She's popped up on foam tape. After I did the ink blending on this, I made sure I did it quickly so it was still wet. I didn't have to hurry too much. We all know oxide stays wet for a while. I meant to grab clear glitter embossing powder. After I had covered the entire gold panel with embossing powder, I realized I had clear holographic embossing powder. The effect is almost still the same. I do like it. You can see the glitter. It's shiny. I mean, it gives the same effect that I was going for. And then I put the rest of those stars that I had left over on this kit. Oh, of course he's gonna start crying. I have 2 bonus cards left. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay. And then inside I used the center that I had cut out from the frame of the very first card, and I stamped Never Stop Dreaming. And because I wasn't sure with the paper, I went over that with clear embossing powder. So that's it for the 10 cards. Now I was waiting to do this video until he was going in for a nap today, so I had time to play with the stuff that I had left. So I made this card as card number 11. And it uses the background that the stamps and the dies were on. These are some fairies that I stamped out when I was doing the alcohol lift ink, and I did them on a rainbow on Yubo paper that I had done a while back. And I really liked the way they came out, and I didn't end up using them, and I wanted to, so I put them on this card. This is left over from the frames I made for the shaker. Put May All Your Wishes Come True, heat embossed it with clear embossing powder. And then of course from her wand we have the line of sequins as the fairy dust. I did not use the glitter pen on this because that background's so shiny, it wouldn't have worked. I would have been carving indents into the card. I did take the extra scraps that I cut off of the gold when I was fitting it onto another card, and I glued them to the bottom with a little ladybug on the inside. And card 12 is another one made up of stuff I had left over. So we used the rose glimmer paper. I used a leftover fairy I had popped up on a greenish gold glimmer paper heart. She's popped up on foam tape. I used some green Studio Katia gems crystals from May. I used that die cut for Believe again, and I also went over it with Hero Arts lacquer pen. And then these are also 2 pieces of that background that holds the stamps and the dies. I just punched, instead of doing a fishtail, which I thought was too harsh for the enchanted look, I used a little corner punch from a lace die, and then I staggered those so you could see a little bit of both. So this is the front and that's the back, or vice versa, however you want to think of it. And then on the inside it's got 2 pieces of that paper that was trimmed off and 2 ladybugs. So those are the 12 cards that I have for you guys for the kit for December 2018. Hopefully 2019 we'll have a lot more videos. And I will be working on a card tonight, hopefully doing a video I'm going to make a Valentine's Day card, I think. Or either a Valentine's Day card, or I want to use this stamp set and dies. I want to use this stuff that I bought when I was in Florida because I didn't get a chance to use it because it was Christmas time when I got back. So maybe I'll do that tonight, and then I'll start working on Valentine cards. So I hope you guys enjoyed the cards. If you like what you see and you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. I encourage you to. We have a lot of fun. There's a giveaway at least once a month. Tell me what your favorite card was. Tell me why you liked it, and I'll just do a giveaway now. As a matter of fact, we will do a giveaway right now. Tell me your favorite card. Tell me why you like it, and you have to be a subscriber. No international winners right now because I'm a little broke from Christmas, but I will do one that's open to international soon. And you have until January 15th. I'm not going to show you the prize yet. It's a surprise. Hit that notification button to be notified of all giveaways and every time a video comes out, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.